That sounds interesting. An actual cult made these anime. Happy Science Volume 1. This is from Mother's Basement? Wow, how many cults made anime?
You don't get rich writing science
Thanks for resub of
fiction.
VV.
If you want to get rich, you start a religion.
L. Ron Hubbard.
L. Ron Hubbard said that a few years before a very lucrative career change, and while the pay
Thanks for
gap
Prime
from
Sinti.
stockbroker to indie messiah is a bit slimmer, one has to imagine similar thoughts running through the head of Takashi Nakagawa as he plotted his exit from the New York office of a prestigious Tokyo trading firm in 1986. Ever since, he's gone by Ryuho Okawa, El Cantare to his marks, disciples. For the followers of Happy Science, already Japan's biggest and most influential
Happy Science is a cool name.
Itself, see him not just as their founder and leader, but as God's own vessel on Earth. That's God's with the apostrophe after the S. See, Okawa is Elohim, Buddha, Hermes, Thoth, the king of Atlantis, El Miore, god king of ancient Venus, and a few other deities he made up, all rolled up into one big super god, who also happens to be best buddies with all the other gods and prophets of every other world religion, especially whichever one will convince you to give him money right now. Perhaps
this sounds great. Where do I fucking sign up? I'm in.
That repels
the king of Atlantis
virus.
supports it?
But that's not all. Through the power of seance, he's even spoken to a wide range of famous secular figures throughout history,
Tier 1
like
NATO,
Albert Einstein,
the Prime
Princess
Canary.
Diana, Margaret Thatcher, Freddie Mercury, Justin Trudeau, Donald Trump, and Barack Obama, some of whom
what did Princess Diana have to say?
Yet. He's just that good. And all of whom, when asked, will tell you that Japan has never committed any war crimes ever, and also they really need to remilitarize and maybe carpet bomb North Korea. Coincidentally, that's also the official platform of the Happiness Realization Party,
What is happening?
Political arm, which would be very worrying if they had anywhere near the 11 million worldwide followers they claim to have. Lucky they're lying. But as every megachurch pastor knows, it's not about the size of your congregation, it's about how hard you can milk them. And milk 'em Happy Science does, to the tune of a reported $45 million
what a deal!
Revenue.
What a good deal!
Among other things, to commission lengthy and ludicrous anime depictions of their scripture.
What?
And that, of course, is why we're all here today.
I'm excited.
Fake medicine
I'm fucking excited.
Vulnerable during a pandemic and co-opting people's deeply held spiritual beliefs in order to lighten their wallets is just good old-fashioned capitalism.
I bet that anime slaps.
But using anime to do it? Now that's some real fucking blasphemy right there. And since turnabout is fair play, starting today, I'm gonna use everything I know about mocking bad anime and deconstructing dumbass world building to eviscerate all 8, soon to be 9, of Happy Science's feature-length dumpster fires. This part will cover the first 3. I am taking a pretty big demonetization risk doing this video. YouTube is so great at separating criticism and satire of extremism from the real deal. And on top of that, I'm not running a sponsor on this video because I don't want to expose anyone else to the cult's ire. So if I make you laugh today and you want to see the rest of these posts, all I ask is that you leave a like and comment and consider subscribing and sharing.
The animation quality looks pretty good.
In advance, the video quality won't be great. The only
I just said the opposite.
Dedicated to preserving these movies,
the actual quality of the anime, animation-wise,
science branches where they were uploaded like a decade ago, dubbed with hard-coded subtitles. So yeah, sorry. If it helps, try to think of it as part of the dodgy cult aesthetic. Now, real quick, before we get to the movies, there is one other Happy Science anime we need to talk about. Clocking in at just 15 minutes, the 1991 OVA Shiawaset Nani is mostly a footnote in the history of Happy Science, but it's extra footnotable for also being a footnote in the history of, I shit you not here, Kyoto Animation. In fact, it was their first ever solo anime, and it marked the directorial debut
What a great start!
of Ishihara, who's currently leading Maid Dragon S. It's neither of their best work. In fact, it's pretty much the worst and ugliest thing either the director or the studio has ever made, but everyone's gotta start somewhere. even if that somewhere is cult propaganda.
Hey, you might as well
Not that
start
you
with
really
cult
know it from
propaganda.
the
That's super
OVA
lucrative.
itself. The story follows a kid.
They're gonna
who's
pay you to
bummed
make
out 'cause
this?
a teacher
Gotta
yelled
milk
at
the
him
fuck
as
out
he
of 'em.
meets an angel and goes on a flying Nimbus ride, then falls into hell for a couple minutes where he learns
me
a
some
valuable
Phantom.
lesson about how being sad is bad and smiling more, even when everything objectively sucks, makes the world a brighter place. Literally, by making the golden marble in your soul glow, but also figuratively, because smiling at his mom means she's not mad when his
Thanks
dad
for some
has
dapper.
to stay late at work, which in turn allows him to work harder and make more money, and when she spends that money, that makes the shopkeepers happy too. It's definitely a strange and bad story, devoid of logic and helpful advice, but no more so than any half-baked after-school special. And because all its supernatural elements are framed as a dream, if you don't know who made it and you're not familiar with the sun iconography and feelings-based cosmology of happy science, it's easy enough to mistake for generic Christian fluff with some weird visual metaphors.
Seems
The
great
rest
to
of these
me.
films,
Well,
though, are
by
unmistakable.
that I mean it looks like
in what
shit.
they
I wouldn't watch it.
Hermes Winds of Love opens on a
Just
very
learning about a
90s
cult.
CGI space shuttle for
what kind of
no
cult?
apparent reason, with the narrator telling us
happy
in
science
no uncertain
cult.
terms that what we're about to see is 100%
I don't really know anything
factually
about 'em yet.
accurate, real ancient Greek history. Then about 30 seconds after that, we see a Pegasus chasing a golden feather through a sea of clouds and
like
Buddha
Quidditch.
lotuses. The feather falls down to Earth, passing by some actually gorgeous animation and backgrounds. The cult clearly paid Toei a lot for this, before it reaches an old man under a tree who immediately leaps up and starts rattling off prophecies about how the
This one looks like it
King of
slaps.
Greece is about to be born right here
Is it
on
the next
Scythia.
Donkey
Then
Ollie?
the wind carries that
It
feather
very
up the
well
hill
might
to the
be.
palace, where it flies off screen and presumably up the queen's coochie to make that happen. And the resulting child's name is Hermes, who was a real guy, actually, and not a god on Mount Olympus. For some reason, that one random old guy's rambling
I'm not afraid of Toei.
enough to reach the
I could beat
ears of the
Toei in a fight.
evil tyrant King Minos, or possibly Minos. They pronounce it literally every possible way in this dub, and that's a running theme with these movies. But he's just like, nah, Scythia's too small to beat me. Cut to 26 years later, though, and we see this.
This doesn't even look
fella's
bad.
pretty
This looks
at
good.
Riding horses and knocking other people off of their horses. So Minos and his massive technology.
Where's the propaganda? They just made like an enjoyable.
Double think that. We then
like,
learn through the extremely organic
even know what
and
this- what
seamless
is this genre?
exposition delivery system of two children running around town discussing what woman could possibly be beautiful enough to bang their prince, that there's a gorgeous princess named Aphrodite locked up in a castle on Lindos. The film then introduces her through a skinny dipping shot, because religious propaganda or not, anime's gonna anime. And then
Well, you need
Hermes
fan
begins
service.
stalking her. Like, he visits her window 12 times in 6 months by rowboat, despite her refusing to talk to him
Jesus.
and actively hiding from
Pathetic
him every
simp.
time he shows
Jesus
up.
Christ.
Don't worry, it's not really stalking, because he's got a really strong feeling that he and this woman he's never talked to are meant to be together. Which they are. And not just in this life. They'll be married again in the future when they're reincarnated as Ryuho Okawa and his wife, Kyoko
Oh!
Okawa. Spoilers for the movie's post-credit scene, I guess.
That's
The
very
divinity
meta.
and predestined love of this couple is one of the core beliefs of Happy. First, in
Oh,
2011,
no.
And then Kyoko was excommunicated from Happy Science.
Well, that was her
revealing
fault.
to the press that despite their claims of over 10 million members worldwide, the real number is closer to 30,000. And then their son also disowned him and started publicly bashing the cult. He's got a YouTube channel, by the way. Spoilers for
Rough.
real life after this movie came out, I guess. Anyway,
Well, what do they
sometime in
know?
the last
That's
6
blasphemous.
years, that one thing King Minos is actually known for happened, and after locking
Is there
his
some
mutant
Vin-
bull son and
Vern?
wife in the labyrinth of Gnosis,
Oh, I don't know
he
about that,
becomes
Tori.
the most evil
They even
thing
a 6200
happy
bits,
science
nerd.
thinks there
Thank you,
is.
man. Goddamn.
An atheist. Also, he started wearing a bullhead luchador mask and making his soldiers use cow print shields, just really committing to the bit, you know. As a result, Minos is also in the market for a new wife, and he's got his eye on Aphrodite, but after window shopping way too many times, like it really kills the pacing of the movie, Hermes does finally decide to commit in an embarrassingly cringy musical number.
This is pretty good. This is nice. It sounds like some kind of gospel.
Later with a daring, action-packed rescue, where the army of Rhodes nearly catches our heroes with their high-speed triremes, but then, just in time, a mystical golden fart cloud catches their sails and carries them away. Could that be the wind of love? The news of this, of course, enrages King Minos.
I will send my troops to Scythia and kill every man, woman, and child!
Which would be super exciting and dramatic if he actually remembered to do that, or anything at all before Hermes rolls up with an army to kill him in like 20 minutes.
Well, that was easy.
Instead, on a peaceful day in Scythia, Hermes takes his new wife on a stroll up a hill where they happen to meet those kids from before, looking like they just popped out of the Akira Elderly Child Labs. Suddenly, though, the children disappear, storm clouds kick up.
Show me more of the propaganda.
Out of the maelstrom emerges Mufasa. Sorry, that's Ophelus, the creator god of Greek mythology that Happy Science made up, who tells Hermes that it's his destiny to unite Greece, starting with the defeat of Minos. To facilitate this and beat the stated 50-to-1 odds against his army, Hermes forges an alliance with Theseus, who's then sent to Knossos undercover as a hostage to recruit the
So how does
help of
Happy
Minos'
Science make
quote,
money?
sane and religious daughter,
You're selling
Ariadne.
tickets to
He takes
this?
a thread from Ariadne and does the thing Theseus does down in the labyrinth, freeing the other hostages and killing an admittedly pretty sick-looking Minotaur in a very rushed and unsatisfying fight scene. Then, with the other hostages, he starts burning
I guess
down the
donations from their
palace while
followers.
Minos is charging out to meet Hermes' army for a very rushed and unsatisfying battle.
The palace! The entire palace is on fire! What are we going to do?
Shut up, you fool! All troops, head back to the palace now!
Turning around,
This
opens
is
him
pretty
up for
fucking
an ambush
cool.
from the woods, defeating most of his army. Then Minos himself dies in a hilariously stupid sword fight back at the palace. At which point, there is still an hour left in the movie somehow.
What?
To say it loses the plot from here would be an understatement. Hermes spends some more time up on that
How is
hill,
there an hour
learning to
left?
meditate and literally watching grass grow under the instruction of Ophelus, which gives him some kind of epiphany about the sun or life cycles or something. It's a scene as pretty as it is vapid and mind-numbing. As a reward for his efforts, Ophelus reveals to Hermes that they are
so this movie
actually
kinda
one and the
sucks.
same, both incarnations of the great god El Kairos, and
skip
of
around a
course
little bit.
Minos, being the baddest bad guy there ever was, has turned into an ultra demon, and he's about to kill
You going to bed?
Aphrodite back on Earth by making
Oh, come say goodnight in a sec.
overcast because something power of darkness, so they have to fight right now, and it is epically okay. Nothing you haven't seen before in a million other animes.
I just wanted the
Also,
propaganda
apparently,
tie-ins.
all-powerful staff isn't
And how it goes
useful
back to
for
the
fighting
cult.
demons either, so much for that setup. At least the trash talk's decent, though.
Yeah, I know there's 2 more movies, so let's check out this one.
And human civilization in its entirety. A
Thanks, Risa
timeline that's
Ballsack.
wrong from literally the first femtosecond of time, as it says the Big Bang happened 40 billion years ago, which is approximately 27.5 billion too early. Extra time that they don't even do anything with, since nothing happens after that until the eternal Buddha decides to start experimenting with organic life on Venus, which happened 5.5 billion years ago, or 1 billion years before our solar system even existed. Which I only bring up because Happy Science claims to be a fusion of religion and science, and how hard is it to double-check your fake timeline against an encyclopedia, you lazy hack?
Well, how can you trust the encyclopedia? This dude is actually a vessel for every god ever.
El Miore decided it was time for humans to happen, and so began a great spacefaring Venusian civilization that lasted the next billion years. Unfortunately, that civilization was
that's Atlantis.
so loving and harmonious that they couldn't evolve anymore. And so the loving, harmonious, eternal Buddha blew them all up with volcanoes and sent their ghosts to oversee evolution from scratch on Earth. Then, 2.1
Why?
billion years after that, or
How does that help?
100 million years ago, El Miore changed his name to El Cantare and brought a bunch more of the Venus ghosts to Earth to become humans again, which beats
Why?
actual science's earliest estimates of human presence on Earth by a cool 300,700,000 years. Once our population reached 770 million, El Cantare decided to invite humanoid aliens to Earth to learn from us. Because the planet had a bit of a dinosaur infestation going on at the time, the first race invited was a warlike species of cat people with laser guns and hoverboards, watched over by the three great ninth-dimensional alien spirits, Jesus, Confucius, and Moses. But after they dealt with that pest problem, it
Okay,
turned
I've got
out
it
the
invested. I need to see this. This is some good lore. Hold on. So Jesus, Confucius, and Moses were space cat gods. The Institute for Research in Human Happiness. Exit Prime Midnight in the resub. Charizard and Apollo. His father, the litigious self-proclaimed deity El Cantare, has denounced Hiroshi as demonic and has sued him for defamation. What an eventful family. That's kind of cute. I've never heard of Happy Science. I guess they're not like a huge cult, but they do make a lot of money relative to their size. So, I mean, you gotta respect the grind, I guess. The ancient Venus gods and Jesus and Moses from cat space really does pay the bills, I guess. I don't know if I want to see the other ones. These just seem kind of lame. I thought they were going to be like laughably awful anime, but it's pretty well animated from what I can see. It's just silly because it comes from a cult that's portraying it as real. They have a lodge just outside of Tampa. Happy Science has a Tampa headquarters. Do they have like open classes? I highly doubt Happy Science is as dangerous as Scientology. I imagine his own fucking son quit and then openly insults him on YouTube. Surely it's probably okay to at least attend a ceremony to see what it's all about. Scientology, you won't find that very many places, I'll tell you that much. That was interesting. Missouri Subsatiro Blue and CCNZ. Court Kim now? Yeah, I can see what's new with Court Kim, I guess. Watch the first 10 seconds of part 2. I see Hassan already watched this. Is Hitler in the cult's anime? Thanks, Yusuf Dizzle.
I'm Helen Keller. What?
If you didn't catch the first of these videos, you...
Oh, okay. It's... With an intro like that, it's hard not to immediately get your attention. What the fuck? How many anime... I need to watch these. Okay, I'm gonna keep this up in another tab, and I'm gonna actually just watch the actual movies themselves. That immediately sold me on watching them. I'll suffer through the boringness and just get to the wild shit like that. That is pretty wild.